you can find posted on the town's website allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberation of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the committee is convening remotely via the Zoom app, as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Please be aware that other folks may be able to see you. Take care not to share screen your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body will be shown during this transmission. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless noted otherwise. Before the meeting starts, allow me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly. For any correspondence, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you. Please say your name before speaking. For items of public comment, we've established an email address for public comment @danversrailtrail.org. This email address can be found on the posted agenda. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call. Paul, you're on mute.
What would I do without you, Georgia? Thank you. So we have a few other people that might join us, but I think we should forge ahead. I'm going to bring up the agenda, and we'll take, you all should have that, but I'm going to bring up the agenda if I can find my PDF. There we go. Share. So this is the agenda we have for today. Georgia just covered the executive participation. Oh, wait a minute, this is the minutes. Hold on a second, folks. Let me go to the agenda here. There's the agenda. We'll comments from the public. We'll talk a bit about the people that have been interested in volunteering, and we'll do a review of the progress in the repairs, update in the Northwest Extension, and then the bipeds request for info on donations. So those are the things that we'll cover. And I think the first thing we're going to ask is, are there any comments from the public? Okay. The next topic that we have is committee member candidates. So thank you, Mark. You did send out an email. We did put a posting up on the website. I think you put this up on Facebook as well. Oh, Lori's joined. Hey, Lori, I see you now hiding
Hi.
below. We had 5 people respond to that. A fellow by the name of Doug Ingram, Roberta Mercier, Christine St. Hilaire, Mark Gileadis, and Gunther Unger. They all expressed an interest in volunteering. They were all invited to this meeting to introduce themselves. They may still show up. If they do, I will just admit them, and then we can let them introduce themselves. If for some reason one of you are watching this meeting, just use that the public comments at danversrailtrail.org email address, and then Mark will make sure you have the Zoom information if you need that to log in. So the topic was to make sure we had an opportunity for committee members for other committee members candidates to make themselves known. We did have one. Georgia, we've received the talent form from Roberta. We also received the talent form from Gunther Angus, who actually looked a pretty good candidate. He works in a cycling business, but he lives in Wenham. So I'm hoping that he can continue to act as a volunteer, but he needs to be a Danvers resident in order to participate. And Tom, you spoke last week or last month. You would express interest in being a committee member. You've submitted your talent form. Do you have anything else that you want to add from the previous meeting?
Yeah, just in summary, folks, I've used the rail trail. I've lived in Danvers 41 years, two different stretches. Moved out of state after high school and college, came back, and been back 30 years in town. I'm a fitness buff. I love the rail trail. I think it's become such an important artery in town. I just love the energy it's given to the town and kind of like the social aspect. I think it's really important. When I retired, I made the decision to volunteer. I didn't know anyone on the committee. I didn't know any other volunteer. I just felt very strongly. And that occurred in early 2020. I've really enjoyed working with everyone on the committee and all the projects, and it's something I'd like to do anyways. But when you get to do something you like with people you enjoy, it's something you really believe in. And I think this rail trail is really important. I didn't even know about the committee. I initially just wanted to volunteer. And having worked in the corporate world as a vice president and in the government for 40 plus years,
I do
I've been on
this.
a lot of committees and task
see
forces.
my-
I can help. So, in short, it'd be my pleasure to further serve.
Yeah, here we can see it.
All right. Hey, Laura, you may want to mute yourself. You're moving around. Okay, thanks.
No,
Thank
I
you.
was just trying to show you my spike.
Mike, oh.
I sent the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Any questions for Tom? All right. So before we jump into current recent business, I want to bring up something that we have this tendency to like plow ahead. That's kind of one of the things I like about this group. You know, we just keep doing work. And what I wanted to do was just take a minute and, you know, share. Can everyone see what's on the screen? This rail trail reflections? You guys
Yes.
seeing that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so basically, you know, if you stop and think about all the things that we did this year, let me just also bring this up. If there's anyone waiting in the waiting room, nope. We did a lot this year. You know, we helped Naval Street Church putting in that fence. We had help from two great companies, Access Corp and Medtronic. We landscaped the Putnamville Park, and I don't know if people are familiar, but we're getting emails. I'm getting emails from people who live near the park who are thanking us for all that work. Joe did a lot of work in helping us get this begin to reduce the flooding over at 3.6. We did a lot of repairs. We picked up trash. Let's see, hold on. Is somebody coming in? I'm sorry. I'm just seeing I'm admitting Maureen, just so I'm getting these messages. I'm sorry, folks, just so we see that. Hello, Maureen. I'm just going over the things that we've done in the past year. Bob out at the Swamp Walk is keeping an eye on the Swamp Walk. He's doing deck repairs. We've kept users informed with website updates. We've done financial reporting. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff, 700 volunteer hours, 150 activities. And I really just want to make sure, you know, we do take a moment and pause, thank each other, you know, thank all of our volunteers and our sponsors for making this a really successful year in the midst of this pandemic. I mean, you know, add on top of that the trail's been used a lot more than normal, but yet, and it was a good year. So I just want to thank folks, and you know, everyone should take a moment to pause and realize that we've done a lot of work. So,
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of committees that haven't met at all because of the pandemic. But at least, you know, even though we're not meeting in person, we see each other on the trail once in a while, and we still make an effort to meet and get things done. So, yeah, I agree. Thank you, Paul, for really, you know, organizing everything that we've done for the year. And if we do send out a postal letter, then I'd like to maybe include that as a second.
sure, yeah,
A separate page
Yeah.
to people that haven't already renewed their mile markers by that
all
time.
right.
Thank
It's a
you.
labor
Sorry,
problem.
I apologize being late.
That's
Sam's
okay.
House and Authority just got over.
Okay, yeah, we were just doing the little recap. So we're now into the and just Maureen, for we had I don't know if you were there for this, but we did have a few people who were expressed an interest in participating as volunteers or committee members.
Mhm,
All received the Zoom invitation and the contacts,
mhm.
but maybe it was the snow. No one as of yet, anyways, has checked in. But we did get 5 people that responded to the email that Mark sent out in the web posting regarding
Great.
members.
Thank you.
So Georgia, do you want to give us an update on the surface repair budgeting work that we provided to you and Aaron?
Yeah, so I'm happy to do the two updates in one because they're both pretty short. I realize I can just
Okay.
give them both. So the funding that the spreadsheet that Joe had worked up and provided, Aaron and I reviewed that and we passed that off to the finance director and the town manager for their review. So if they have any questions, they'll be coming back to our department and we'll discuss with them. And we will keep you guys updated with whatever happens there. It should be a couple more weeks of budgeting. So when we hear, we'll let you guys know. And then as for the state funding, everything was transferred over. It's 100% confirmed, signed on the dot, paperwork's, I think, being done on the finance side to kind of get things moved over, but it is confirmed.
Great. That's great news. So George, I think the next step then would be probably whenever we can get to it early next year is the communication with the people along that section of the trail. Okay. You're muted now.
Yep. Yeah, so we had discussed, I think, I want to say almost a month, maybe 2 meetings ago about when we were to do outreach, kind of who those people would be. So I have that rough list and we can start working on kind of a rough outline of what the outreach would look like.
All right. Matt Duggan looks like he is joining. Welcome, Matt. You're connecting to audio. I'm just going to let him join, so we'll give him a chance to chime in. We're plowing through things pretty quickly tonight. Matt, can you hear us? No? Yes?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. All right, good.
That why you're moving so fast is because I wasn't here?
Could be. Could be.
How that works out.
So I'm going to do a quick recap for Matt, which is basically the topic that we hit was the committee member update. We did have 5 people that expressed an interest in either volunteering or being committee members. One of them, 2 actually sent along their candidate talent pool forms. One of them lives in Wenham, so is not really eligible for the committee member role. The other is here in Danvers. They've all expressed an interest in attending this meeting. I've given them the Zoom invitations. And as of at least now, 6:15, none of them have yet joined. So hopefully they will join so they can speak for themselves in the coming few minutes. And the other thing that I did was just a little recap to remind folks, we've done a lot of stuff this year. In spite of the pandemic, we've got an awful lot done. And we'll attach that to the minutes so people can see that.
Yep. And I just wanted to throw in that I have talked to Ingrid recently, and I appreciate the fact that you reached out to her. And she was just concerned about the money just being commingled. I think I mentioned that last.
Yep. And we'll get to that in a minute, because actually I may ask the group to approve some money. I did have a good chat with Ingrid. In fact, that's the next thing on the agenda now that, but Mac, I just want to give you those updates on the 2 things that we covered.
Right. Yep. Sorry, I'm late. I was helping out some elderly neighbors.
Yeah, that's what Charlie's off today, helping some folks. All right. The next thing was the fact that Matt just mentioned. I did want to follow up on the discussion that I had with Ingrid, which I did send along. Whoa. Did we just lose everybody? What happened here? All right, good. My screen just flashed at me. But anyway, so the background for this was that the bipeds donated $3,119 back in October 2018. And they was, as Matt just said, they were concerned about or questioning, how we've been spending the money, what were we doing? I met with Ingrid. We had a good discussion. She made a couple of very good points about, needing to focus on the area between Wenham Street and Chestnut Street, because there's really not a lot of access points, especially for elderly, and there's no resting spots, which I thought was, that's a very good point. It's about 1.25 miles, and there is no place to sit down. And she suggested benches, which we'll come to in a moment. She also suggested, could we look at improving access at Coolidge and access at Cole Street? Both of those access points we've looked at before. They're a little more challenging than you might think, but it is something that we would like to do. I don't know, George, if you're familiar enough with those 2 spots to comment on, what we might do next steps to dig a little deeper into improving the access to those 2 locations.
Yeah, sorry, trying to unmute. I'm happy to look more just to make sure those areas are available if we did want to do something there, DPW wise, just town ownership of the areas, making sure everything's okay for us to improve them.
Okay. All right.
I did go on to the GIS last couple days to check ownership. I mean, the city does own the strip of land from Cabot Road into the trail where Coolidge Street, that alignment.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, that looked pretty good.
I wanted to check, I told Paul that may be used, I know they use it as a staging area if there's ever work in that. I know the town likes just being able to have that area, but it also sounds like those improvements wouldn't really get in the way of much. If anything, they'd be a great benefit. So just I'll check in with that.
There is quite an incline getting up to the trail from that patch of land.
Right. Yeah. So if we go this route, I think that George's comment about first making sure that, making sure there's no issues with using either of those two spots. But as you just mentioned, Scott, that spot at Coolidge, Charlie's measured it. It's almost 6 feet in, elevation from the trail down to the road, to the path. Right. So we probably need to do some fairly serious either design work or it's something that's going to take a little bit of thought. I know a lot of people have some ideas of what we can do, but let's first make sure that there's no issues with the town from the standpoint of easements or storage, as George just said, and then we can do a more formal plan. And Cole Road may be an easier one. I mean, that's a simpler little flat area. There may be a way to make that a little more accessible as well. So what I want to do now, because I was going to ask, I think I want to ask the group to approve some funding. So I'm going to do a screen share, and this is what I sent around earlier. I think I've got the right thing here. Yeah. So this is the idea. Can people see this little thing with the bench on it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So this is basically, I sent this around. So basically this is the idea of somewhere between, this is Wenham Street, and then down here as well, Chestnut Street's way down. Somewhere in the area by the pond at the high school, put in a couple of benches. I thought it was kind of an interesting idea from Ingrid. It's a nice spot. You can see these two red dots below might be where we would put a bench. It looks over the pond. It's not under the lines. And so what I wanted to do was just ask if people had feedback on that idea, and then we should talk about the funding and whether or not we want to actually approve the funding for that tonight. The bench, this bench is the same bench we've used all over the trail. They cost about $700, might be more, might be less right now. And there's about $200 of expenses. So to do this would cost us about $1,600. So I'm going to stop the share and just ask people questions, thoughts on this idea.
Well, that 1,600 would be basically because of the $3,100.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, we would use that would be funded out of our funds, and it would be, one of the ways we could spend that donation from Ingrid. I don't think we need to necessarily ask for her permission to do this, especially since this was her idea. But it would come out of our funds, and we would thank,
would we recognize the bipeds?
Absolutely.
On that?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Yeah, plaque or something. Absolutely. Yeah. Other comments on the spot or anything like that? Or?
I think it's a great location. Certain times of year you get some herons in there. It's a nice spot to sit.
Yeah, the bullfrogs are fun too.
Bullfrogs.
Yeah. Yeah, they get loud. They get pretty loud as you go through there.
Yeah, they do.
So
I agree. I did have a further thought. I agree it's a great location, just for what Scott said. But I'm just wondering, is there any security thing of wrong type of characters hanging out there? Wherever you put a bench is, it's supposed to be a gathering point of some kind. So I just want to make sure that it's safe.
Well, I mean, the experience, Joe, that we've had every other bench is there haven't been problems. At least anything reported. There's a bench that's pretty remote that's out by Choate Farm, right by the end of the trail, if you can picture that one. That was also a donated bench. We have, some down by Tapley Park. There's one by Prince Street. We haven't had any problems. I don't know, George, if you've had any problems reported or anything like that.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
The only issue that I've had with the bench over by Borough Street where my planter is trash. People sit there and they have a drink and then they throw their cup on the ground.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's a great idea, personally.
Well, it's a fairly open space. It's out in the open. So it's not like it's, in an area where people could hide.
Right.
It's just my guess from a security standpoint that I think people would probably rather go off into the woods and the trails behind there rather than, be out in the open on the trail.
Right.
Right. That's what we found with the history of the trail, that there's more and more people on the trail every day. And just having people on the trail is the best security, really.
And it's a highly trafficked area too, a lot of traffic in that area.
Yeah, a lot of the high school kids walk through there, leaving school and going home. And there's a lot of traffic there.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to do anything on this until the springtime. But I have no strong feeling. I thought maybe we could approve the spending now. At least we could be ready to do it. I just don't know what the ordering time is for this stuff. I don't know if people, everything you seem to order now for like outdoor landscaping stuff can take a long time to get. So I was going to look into it, and if they have it, I would order it. But I wouldn't want to store it here. So we would have to order it so that it wouldn't be delivered for a while. All right, or we could wait and approve this in a, February meeting if we want to. I don't know if people have feelings about it.
And this is coming from the bipeds money, about $1,800 or $1,900, and that would leave what, $1,400 roughly left for another project.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll make a motion just for discussion. I'll make a motion that we allocate $1,900 of the bipeds funding for the two benches between Chestnut and Wenham Street.
It's about 3.1.
Mile 3.1. Somebody want to second it? We can discuss it.
I'll second it.
Okay. Anyone? So I have to do a little roll call vote here. So Joe in favor?
Yes.
Okay, me, I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm going around though. So Scott in favor. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
And Matt?
Hey, we got the thumbs up.
All right. So I'll look into this further, and then we'll see what the delivery times are and everything like that, and I'll confirm the price as well. So.
Oh, we're gonna just have Charlie build one.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll teach him for not being here today.
He's going to be gone for a couple months.
I know. All right. So I'm going to come back to the agenda. Larry, you want to give us an update on fundraising or finances?
Yeah, I mean, Mark Jones sent out, with the help of Paul McNulty, crafting the copy, sent out the email last week, or was it this week? And we've already got, quite a few donations already. Almost $2,000 come in so far. Paul, yours came in today too, from Fidelity, and that adds to it. So I think we're off to a good start there. Our balance is over $2,000 higher than it was last month, and we had some expenses against it. And that's not even including the one from the cycling group that donated as well.
And we got a couple of nice donations that just came through. So what's the total of that operating budget now? I think just if you give us a rough, even an estimate, kind of the broad stroke.
Well, the total in the operating account is $29,000 and $29,156.
Okay.
And we still have the money, from in the Leahy account, which increases ever so slowly because CDs don't pay any interest these days. So it's over 20,000, and we
But I
still,
should be- hey, Larry,
we
just,
still have a couple of grand in the swamp walk money, but I know that's not really,
yeah, but just to remind people that of the money we have, we've committed roughly 6,500 for the shed. So even though that hasn't gone out yet,
exactly.
we have a commitment to spend that. So.
Right. We did send a deposit on that.
Yeah.
But you know, right. So that'll be coming out. But we haven't even really started fundraising yet either. I mean, we've just started, but we haven't really, gotten deep into it. So.
Any other questions for Larry on the?
I have a question or two. One is, what was the cycling group that made a donation?
It was, oh God, what was the name of them? I'm blanking.
No, it had a weird name, B2C2, which we pretty sure is Back Bay Cycling Club.
It's based out of the Boston area.
Yeah.
I looked them up. They have a website. They have a president. They have members. They have pictures of they have pictures of all the riders. They must have done some kind of a fundraising thing. They wanted it to be an anonymous donation. Paul sent a thank you by email, but we could reach out. I'm going to send out a letter, but I don't know if I should address it. Paul and I discussed. I don't know if I should address it to the president that's listed on the website and thank them, and but it was over about $850 that they raised. It was an odd number. It was like 844.57. So it was obviously a part of some fundraising thing that they did. So I don't know how they decided to donate to us, but I'd like to find out, and I'd like to find out, how they raised the money. So I thought it might make a nice little story.
Yeah.
So my other question is, did we ever receive an invoice from Fraser Construction for the stone pack that they installed at 3.6?
Good question.
Did you ever receive a $500 bill from Fraser Construction, Larry?
Nope, I have not.
We should
we
should make sure we pay it back. Yeah.
I think he ate it. I think one email he sent, he just said, don't worry about it or something like that, and have a good day. So that was very nice of them.
So Joe, he's confirmed that that's.
Should we ask them for that? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Ask them for some type of invoice.
I mean, I could confirm, or you could. Let me confirm with him, but I think he just decided to give that to us as well as the service, the labor and the equipment.
Yeah, please do, Joe, because if it is a donation, we should thank him. We should send him a letter because there's some tax benefit for him in doing it. It just should be thanked. That's great. That's good to hear.
Yeah, we did make a recommendation, or forwarded the information to the DPW, I think, or Public Works, I think, that they donated that service to us, and try to give them some good relationships with the town.
Yeah.
I'll call. Yeah.
So we'll move on. Thank you, Larry, for the update.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything come into the PO box for that, so they didn't mail anything to us. That much I do know. So, but maybe we could recognize them in some way. I don't. When companies give a donation like that, if we have available mile markers, should we make one available to them as a thank you? Or is that something we might want to consider?
Well, my opinion would be no, but especially a $500 mile marker.
Right.
But we could. I mean, I'm open to that. We could do it. We could also put them up on the website. That might be, quite honestly, they may get more benefit out of being on the website. I did send a note to the town, to DPW, and is it Rich in Georgia in Street Division? I did send them a note letting them know. Rich
Souza, the DPW.
Rich Souza. They know him. They've worked with him before. They appreciated the fact so they were aware of the fact that they did this work for us, DPW and Street Division.
Right.
you know, so if others have stronger feelings or other feelings about giving them a mile marker, I mean, we can ask the group for a vote. I mean, I don't have a particular.
What if it was just a separate sign, not a mile marker? Because I think you want to try to get as much from the mile markers from donations as possible. But what if we put some kind of sign at the gate at Wenham Street?
Signs are an issue.
Yeah, signs are tough because if we start putting out signs, we're going to end up with everyone's going to want a sign. I would stay away from signs. And if we do, the only reason I'm hesitating on the mile marker is that we do all the work to do it. They're supposed to pay every year.
Right.
So that's I think the website is probably enough, but I mean, I don't know if there's a sign we could, I mean, maybe we put something up temporarily, Joe, in the springtime up there. You know,
Can there be like a blast from the app, just like a special thanks to Fraser Construction type thing that just goes out to everybody who's on the app?
we did that.
Okay.
We did that already. Yeah, we did that already. We put a posting together for them. We put it on the app. Yeah. So, so what, I mean, we can look into, I mean, so we definitely should send them a note if they're giving us the donation. Absolutely. I mean, a thank you note and a acknowledgement.
How about if I think we've done quite a bit already in terms of thanking him, but when I call him, I'll try to, get a sense of his gratitude or, how he stands with us.
Okay.
And I want him to, he gave a lot, and his men, gave a half of their Saturday to us.
Yeah.
And that was worth a lot, and he did a good job.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let us know what you hear, both on that and the invoice too.
Okay.
The next thing that we have is the approval of the minutes. So from November 19th, people have a chance to look at them. Anyone, any questions or concerns or comments? All right. So somebody want to move to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 19th.
All right. One second.
I'll second them.
Nancy, second. Okay. So I go around the horn. All in favor, Joe? Okay.
Yes.
I'm okay. Nancy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Larry?
I wasn't there, but I read them and they look.
Shane? Okay. Or you can be. Mark?
Yes.
Matt? All right. Thank you, Matt. The last topic we have on the agenda is the next meeting. So we currently have it set for January 21st, which is our standard third Thursday of the month. Is that okay with folks? I don't know how much we'll have to cover, but we can always cancel it if we don't have much to go over.
I'm good.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. That's what's so funny is Tom will be gone. Oh, you can zoom in.
We could zoom in from wherever you are. Right?
Yeah.
I'm in Virginia. Here I am.
That's right. Lori's down. Yeah.
Where we have no snow.
Oh, don't rub it in.
Okay.
Rub it in.
You have to rub it in, don't you?
We have
Just a little.
Paul, what's the next step with the committee member, with Tom, and are we going to wait till January or?
So what will happen is basically we'll take the application that we've received. Georgia will bring them to the town manager, and then he ultimately makes the decision on who to choose.
All right, thank you.
All right, well then I think we're basically all set. We were much quicker than I thought we'd be today, unless there's any other business people want to bring up.
Just one thing, I did send out an app alert about the meeting, and it looks like somebody from Linfield wanted the link to watch the meeting, just FYI. So we got people out there watching.
All right.
Hi, Linfield.
All right, well, I think we're gonna wrap up then, unless there's anything else that we need to do. Thank you everyone for attending. I'm going to end the meeting, and thank you, DCAT, for the reporting and the time.
Miss you, Laurie.
Happy holidays,
Laurie.
Merry Christmas, Laurie.
Merry Christmas,
Thank you.
everybody.
Merry
Have a
Christmas,
great
everybody.
holiday.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
See you in June.
Yeah.
Night.